So I recently got a Mazdaspeed 3. Well, maybe recently is not the right word. A little over a year ago, I bought one of the cleanest first gen Mazdaspeed 3. There was just one small, tiny problem with it. The engine wasn't present in the engine bay. Thanks to my good friend Nathan for disassembling the engine that came with the car and figuring out that the rod and crank bearing previously didn't have a good time. At that point, I had to figure out if I was going to rebuild the current engine or get another one. That's when I saw this car for sale as a part out. I knew I needed more parts than just the engine, like headlights, the engine harness, the ECU, and much more. So I offered to buy the car as a whole, and we were able to settle on a deal at $400 Canadian. Once the car was back home, I stripped off all the parts I needed and was able to sell the shell for $200. Which means I got the engine, transmission, and a whole lot of parts for only $200. But what's the catch? Supposedly the engine was replaced by Mazda and only has roughly 40,000 kilometers on it. But it requires the VVT gear and timing to be done on it. From further inspection, the engine does look really clean from the inside underneath the valve cover, and has some loose like the previous owner mentioned in the timing chain. Is that all it'll need? Time will tell. But if this engine works, it'll be the biggest win for this car. So now that we're all caught up, what I'm going to do now is remove the rest of the wiring harness that's dangling off this engine. Then I'm going to be degreasing it and steam cleaning it just to make it a little bit nicer to work on.
This manifold, they tried to cut it with a Sawzall or something. Why would you want to do that? No idea.
Now I'm just gonna clean up the engine. It's pretty dirty. There's actually a few bugs nest on the engine because it was sitting for so long. So I got some degreaser that's made for parts clean, some from Spray 9, some grease off. Never used this product. I'm not sure if it's gonna go well. And I got some brake clean also to clean really in depth for certain area. On top of the degreaser, I'm gonna be using a steamer to be able to really remove that grease and to clean up the engine really good. Beforehand, I am just gonna vacuum the engine quickly to remove the biggest loose grime off of it. All right, so it's the next day. The shed was able to vent out a little bit because yesterday when I was cleaning the engine, the smell got pretty strong. Today, I just cleaned up the rest of the bolts that were just sticking on the engine. I also labeled everything that I took off the engine so that the reassembly is a lot easier, and covered up the port so that nothing falls into the engine. So I'm pretty excited to do the timing on this engine. I've never timed a Mazda engine before, so that'll be a first for me. I only ever installed one timing belt before, and it was quite a long time ago.
Before even doing that, I make some room to work by bringing all the parts in the speed.
So the impact that I typically use, the DeWalt one, is a pretty basic 1/2-inch impact. And unfortunately, it did not break loose the crankshaft bolt. So I did go out to the store to get another impact, and I ended up getting this, a maximum corded impact, because I typically don't do high torque things too often like this. So this is rated for 400 foot-pounds. For the little use I'm gonna be using it, I think it's gonna be more than enough.
Woo! Wow.
If you're doing this, there's 16 8mm bolts on the timing cover, and the one right on top of the crankshaft is slightly longer than the rest.
All right, so with the timing cover off and everything removed, I wasn't sure if I had to put this in before I broke the crankshaft nut loose or afterwards. I put it afterwards because I was afraid to break it if somehow there's too much torque. Maybe that's not even a thing, I don't know. The potential issue with that is that you don't really have access to turn really the crankshaft much afterwards. So what I did, I put two bolts from the flywheel that was attached to the crank, and then that way with that I can move the crankshaft back and forth. And by moving it, I can feel it kind of sitting on that nut, so I know that the timing is correct.
I also add a bungee cord to keep the crank in place so I don't accidentally move it. Then I'm locking the cams in place with the timing plate.
So the reason I just took off the oil pan is because of this.
This is an oil block off of sorts, also known as a balance shaft delete. By doing so, I'm removing rotational mass from the engine, over 18 pounds to be precise. That will free up a bit of power and allow the engine to rev faster. At first, I thought I'd be able to squeeze it out, but I actually had to remove the oil strainer.
In this moment I can feel it, that my life keeps flashing by. This emotion creates the notion that there's nothing left to hide. And this time I get this feeling that there's no one left behind. Our time has come to notice that we crossed the last divide. You and me tonight, sing out like a choir, shout it to the sky, until our hearts catch fire, fire. You and me tonight, shout it to the sky. Together we are
So with the oil pan drying, that gives me some time to finally get to the timing. So what I got is a full kit to do the timing. It comes with pretty much everything that you need, from what I understand, all OEM parts too. But it comes with the valve cover gasket that we'll need later, and all these friction washers. Also comes with the chain tensioner, the guides, and it also has, most importantly, the new variable valve timing sprocket. So pretty much everything you need. This kit also came with the tool to set up the timing. So I did get the kit used off Facebook Marketplace. I say used because obviously it's still brand new. I just got it off someone that didn't do the timing off their Mazdaspeed, and they just decided to sell the kit in their car. There's a whole bunch of kits out there that use the OEM parts. It's available on many Mazdaspeed parts websites, so it's easily accessible to find some of these kits online.
While everything was apart, I took the time to clean and paint the timing cover. With the freshly painted cover, I couldn't keep the rusty crank pulley, so I soaked it for a few hours and painted it. Before installing it, I marked the 20th tooth to line up the timing properly.
When your heart is racing at the speed of light, and you feel like you got nowhere else to go. No, I'll hold you till the sun comes in the morning light. Yeah, I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go. When your heart is racing at the speed of light. When your heart is racing at the speed of light. Yeah, I'll keep you safe. Yeah, I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go. When your heart is racing at the speed of light. And you feel like you got nowhere else to go.
If you've watched my previous videos on this build, you might remember that I got a 2nd gen valve cover. But as you can see, it's not the nicest thing to look at. So I clean it like the engine and paint it too.
When your heart is racing at the speed of light. When your heart is racing at the speed of light. When your heart is racing at the speed of light. When your heart is racing at the speed of light.
I'll keep you safe. I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go. When your heart is racing, and you feel like you got nowhere else.
With the valve cover now dry, I can install the gasket and finish sealing the engine.
When your heart is racing at the speed of light. When your heart is racing at the speed of light. When your heart is racing at the speed of light. When your heart is racing at the speed of light.
Alright, so the timing is all done on the engine, and I gotta say I'm really happy that I tackled this project because timing an engine is, I guess, a little bit more advanced of a project, and I think it turned out pretty good. When I'm rotating the engine, it doesn't sound like there's anything hitting or the valves hitting the piston, so it should be pretty good. Everything seems to be in time, plus the engine looks really sharp with the timing cover and the valve cover painted. So obviously there's still lots to do on the engine and on the Mazdaspeed 3. So there's definitely going to be a lot more content coming out concerning those things. So I'm pretty excited for what's coming up next. But in the meantime, I did want to share with you guys that I just recently launched a website, drivingproduction.com, and you're going to be able to go and get some merch there, different hoodies, shirts, and there's even stickers from Driving Production. And there's a few concepts right now with the Mazda 3, and I'm definitely going to be adding some new designs as we go, so definitely keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, you can go check out this episode right here where I built my Mazda 3 in 21 minutes. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.